When I came to the United States in 2018, there are many things I wish I had known about my status, about working, employment, about tons of other stuff. So here I am talking about 5 things I wish I had known and things you should know as an international student in the United States. A disclaimer, I am not an immigration lawyer, I'm not studying law, this is based on my experience as an international student in the United States. And with that, let's jump right in. So the first thing you should know about is your status. For international students, you're either on an F1 visa or a J1 visa, and for both visas, we are considered quote-unquote non-resident aliens. There's a push to change it to something more logical and humane, like immigrant and non-immigrants, but we're not there yet. And it's crucial for you to remember that this will help in your research about the legalities around being an international student and research for the next couple of points which I'll talk about. Based on experience, I tend to have an easier time finding answers if I use the term non-resident aliens compared to international students. So for the purpose of the video though, I will be referring to us as international students, which is who we are. So the second part in relation to the first point is regulations around employment in the US, which is probably what a lot of you are here for. There are two kinds of programs they can seek employment under: the CPT, which is Curricular Practical Training, and the OPT, which is the Optional Practical Training. So for CPT, you are only allowed to use it during your academic training for things like internships, and it has to be related to your choice of study, your major, and it has to be also a part of a curriculum, while OPT is used more for post-graduation. Employment under CPT can be either part-time, which is 20 hours per week, or full-time 40 hours per week, and it can be paid or unpaid. An important note for CPT is that if you work full-time for 12 months under the program, you'll lose your eligibility for OPT. And as mentioned, OPT is used after you finish your studies. Under certain circumstances, you can apply to use OPT during academic studies, like if you have extenuating economical circumstances that you need to study to be able to pay for your tuition, etc. But it's not advised to use OPT since you only have a period of 12 months total. What's great about OPT is that you can be free to explore your career options. You can be hired by several employers, you can even freelance. And if your program is a part of STEM, which is Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math, you can apply for an additional 24-month extension during your 12 months of OPT. However, this extension requires you to then only be constrained to a single stream of income, which also means that it's a single employer who will also submit a training program and also update the USCIS every 6 months. The employer also has to be e-verified, and as a result, you are not allowed to be self-employed under the STEM OPT. And on the topic of careers, I do career coaching strategy and also LinkedIn branding online presence for international students. You can schedule a free 45-minute consultation with me at the link in the description box down below. And with talking about employment and OPT, my third point is to plan ahead. While you do not need sponsorship, which means the employer has to endorse you and apply for a visa for you, OPT still needs paperwork. You will still need to file some forms to USCIS, and so that takes about 1 to 2 months before COVID, and during these times it takes about 2 to 3 months. Mine took about 3 months to arrive. So plan ahead. And alongside this point, the fourth point is about the job search. Start your job search early. Know how to pitch yourself. When you start applying for jobs, you will see this question of will you require a sponsorship now or in the future? And if you feel like that sounds loaded, that's because it is. And as far as I know, this is mandated by the government in terms of how they ask it, and organizations are not allowed to modify the question. So sometimes you even need to educate recruiters when you meet them during an interview about your status and that you don't need a sponsorship. This is important because a lot of recruiters and a lot of employers would think that it is a hassle, which it is. It requires a lot of legal and financial resources on the organization's end to be able to sponsor you. And so explain to them why you don't need a sponsorship under OPT which is because it's under a student visa, and having a way to explain this during an interview may very well be a determining factor in you getting hired. And the fifth tip I have for you is taxes. Nope, not the state taxes, but filing taxes. Do you know that even if you do not work as an international student, you're required to fill in the form? I think it's the form 8843. But don't quote me on that. Check with your international students office or your direct school official, which is DSO for short, on what you need to do every tax year. Typically, a tax year ends April 15th, and because again with the Panini going on, it may be extended. Like this year was extended to July, I think 15. And so knowing what to file and what you have to report is very important. There are also services like SprintTax that can help international students like ourselves with our taxes. Please note that TurboTax and all those federal services do not help us with that. For those of us who are financially constrained, and this is a point I wish I had known the first day I filed my taxes, there's this service called VITA, VITA, which stands for Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. They are all around the United States. Find the VITA in your state and give them a visit, check with them, or give them a call to see if they help international students with your taxes, and they may be able to help you for free. And so that's all the tips I have for you today. Comment down below which of these tips has been the most helpful to you or that you didn't know before. And connect with me on social media on my LinkedIn and Instagram. All of the links together with resources that supplement what I have said will be in the description box down below. And I hope to see you next time where we talk about everything career, international students, living in the United States, LinkedIn branding, and intentional living. So I'll see you next time. Bye.